Good evening, and welcome to tonight's book launch party, proudly presented by Rock the Stage Media. We are celebrating a wonderful, amazing book, and we have a great party lined up for you tonight. And it's all about the profitable fleet management for small and medium sized businesses. Fleet management, vehicles, trucks, cars, all the things that some people love and some of us hate. And that's why this book was written to help us all out. We're going to get deep into it today with the author, Bill Deboer, coming up throughout the night. You also have the chance yourself to join in and ask questions via the chat throughout the entire broadcast here tonight. So if you do have a question, feel free to drop it in. We'll use it probably later on the show, but we may sprinkle in earlier. You never know how this thing goes. We also have some surprise guests, and we have the chance to win some prizes as well, as this is all streaming live on multiple channels. So wherever you're on, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, sit back and enjoy this tonight. You're in for a treat. And again, this book is available tonight. And right away, I want to let you know you can get this book. And we're going to be dropping this on several times tonight. But right now, if you're interested, hit that QR code and grab a copy of this book right away. You're absolutely going to love it. Just grab your phone, QR, hit it, and you'll get a copy of Profitable Fleet Management for small and medium-sized businesses. And if you stick around, you might win a copy autographed by the author himself. So we have that and a lot more coming up here tonight. As we get underway, I do want to invite someone special to come in and join us right away here tonight. It's the host of the twice weekly automotive aftermarket podcast. It's the Remarkable Results Radio, and now also the live aftermarket town hall, which airs every Friday, noontime Eastern. Carm is changing the behavior of the how afterlife professional gets the information, training, insights, and strategies. And he has been willing to come along tonight, share a few insights to our author. So, Carm, welcome tonight. Great to have you with us. And the stage is yours for a few moments to just share what you know about Bill Deboer.
Hey, Richard, thank you so much. Wow. So Bill Deboer says, hey, would you come on and hang with us as we launch the book? And so what you need to know about me and Bill, I've known him for a bunch of years now, and he's kind of like my drug fix on books. And what Bill has done for me in the past, I'll never forget. I think it was at Christmas a few years ago. A box comes in, and there's all these incredible books, and they were from Bill. And we just chatted this particular week, learning about the book launch. And what do you think happens about 3 or 4 days later? I get another box of books. So it's so apropos, Richard, that I am here in the launch of this really cool book. And here it is, Profitable Fleet Management. I had a chance to read this guy, and it reads so well, so easy. And I got to give Bill a lot of high fives, because it kind of is like a business card for customers. I mean, if you walk in and you got that 30-second elevator speech that you want to give, but you drop them off, a half-hour read, which is a whole lot better in my mind than a 30-second elevator speech, especially because you're talking their language. Mm-hmm. And that's the part I love about the book. He tells people how to save money, how, I guess you could spend time managing your fleet, but yet maybe, just maybe, you could use a company like Bill's, and how to maximize or cost per mile, inspections. I love the part about the safety inspections, yes, and the visual inspections, and all of these ideas in the book are what Bill can do for the client. So I thought it was just beautiful how he kind of pulled it all together.
Well, is there anything specific that grabbed you besides some of those things, or anything special you would say to Bill, because he is listening in right now? Anything to encourage him to go forward, maybe write another book?
As I was reading the book and I see him made references to Profit First and Mike McColowitz's, mm-hmm, references on how to segment your money to be sure that you've got enough to pay your bills. I think what he was doing is really talking businessman to businessman. And that's the part I just love about how he attacked the issues, not from I'm trying to sell you, but I'm trying to help you.
Carm Caparito, thanks for taking the time tonight to be with us. Celebrate, cheer on, and again, I know you got a lot of great things going on, so
Yeah.
congratulations on everything you're doing as
Thank
well.
you
But
so much.
taking the time.
Lots of success, Bill. Go, go, go.
There you go. He's got the cheerleader in the house already. And that's just a sample of what you got going on here tonight. By the way, the chat box is already going. And I'm just going to share one of these real quickly. Uh, Caroline, thank you for dropping in here. And again, the idea of niching down, having a very targeted book, being that go to expert. That's what Bill did with this book. And we're going to talk about that in a few moments with Bill. But yes, it is about niching down. It is about making sure you stand out from the crowd and people find you as that go-to expert. And this is a very unique book in that. Honestly, I didn't know much about this industry. And by reading it, my eyes open up. I began to think about things a little bit differently. So hopefully tonight, as we go through this, you will also enjoy it as well. William J. Deboer, or Bill Jr., as people know him, is the co-owner, the vice president of Deboer's Auto. As the company's general manager, Bill has been responsible for bringing innovations in daily operations to the full-service, high-tech auto repair facility, and it's 20 plus years and counting. As we get into this, I'm going to bring Bill on here because Bill, congratulations on the book launch, first of all. We've been talking about this, planning this for quite a while. How does it feel to actually be here tonight to know you're live? This is on now.
That feels great. Thanks for having me, Rich. I really appreciate it.
As I read your introduction again, you've been doing this for 20 plus years, and I'd love to go back just so everyone gets to know you a little bit better. People joke about being in the family business, but you are in the family business, aren't you?
Yeah, we are in the family business. It was my father's hobby, racing cars back in the 60s and 70s down at Island Dragway, and his hobby became my career. So that's where we're at today.
So, and again, you've learned every aspect of cars, maintenance, running, operating, but now you're into this fleet management area. Um, and I just want to read a little quote from the book that's kind of set the stage here. And you put this in the preface in the early part of the book. It says, if you're like most of our clients, you have enough worries on your plate to ensure everything in the business is running smoothly. You can't take on another project, especially one this large, that has the probability of costing the company thousands of dollars in repairs, averages, gas, and the list goes on and on. Is that why you wrote this book? To help people save money? To really seriously help them save money?
Yeah, well, we're here to help. So saving money is part of that, but also giving them the time and the freedom and the peace of mind that, these people do very important work too. They're going out and getting people's hot water back on. They're taking care of electrical issues in their houses, or on hot days, taking care of the AC unit on senior citizens' homes. That they have to be able to get in their vehicles and go. And when they hit that key, it's got to start. So it's important work that we do, and we try to help them stay in front of all that stuff by, doing preventative maintenance and taking care of the vehicles when they have downtime, so it doesn't interfere with their business operations, and then be there when they need it to go.
So this book also sets you up a little bit higher as one of the go-to experts. You're establishing yourself. It's chock full of many, many things. Again, as I referenced, I had to Google, I had to research, I had to figure out what the heck is fleet management? What are you talking about? So for those of us that may not be fully aware, why are you an expert and what is this really all about?
So fleet management, I mean, it goes back. I mean, we've been taking care of cars for a very long time here. Fleets have always been a major part of the business, and it just made sense to write the book at this time. A lot of these small businesses have grown quite a bit. Their fleets have expanded, and a lot of times their owners are, typically they're much like our trade, right? They're plumbers turned plumbing business owners, and they're busy running around trying to take care of plumbing or electrical work or mechanical work, and they don't have the time to mess around with these vehicles, and it's not really in their expertise. Usually when they get to a certain size, it falls in somebody's lap in the office who really doesn't know much about taking care of a vehicle other than having oil changes done. And it's just not a good way it's not a good strategy to manage a fleet by taking care of just doing oil changes. When they go into those quick lubes, they're lower tier technicians, not to put them down, but they're not as nearly qualified as our technicians are to go over the vehicles and make sure everything is where it needs to be and how we can help them forecast issues that will be coming up on the horizon.
You just heard Carm a few moments ago, and he referenced part of chapter 2. You're talking about the profit first methodology, and Mike McAllowitz is the one that wrote that in the Profit First book. But you pick up on it further. Take us into that. What does that profit first methodology really mean, and how does it apply to this?
Well, the way it applies to it is, I found it very, very useful. We put profit first into place in our business, and it helped us get a good handle on our cash flow. I figured it was just a really good tip to pass along to other people and specifically managing their fleets. So when they are going through and they're collecting their funds from the week before, they should be setting aside a certain percentage for their fleets. So when they get hit with repair bills or maintenance bills, or they have to buy a replacement vehicle, it's a lot easier when you can plan for it and the money is there. So that's why I want to bring that in and kind of unpack that a little bit, send them in the direction of Mike's book as well to learn a little bit more about it. So
We did try to get Mike to join us. Just couldn't happen tonight, but he, wishes you the best of luck. There is something I was aware of, and I had to go back to my newspaper days. Driving around in Georgia, delivering papers, they gave me a gas card. They gave me my fuel up card. And at the time, I didn't think of it. But now, are fuel card programs for fleets still valuable, not valuable? Where does it all work into this now?
yeah, they're very valuable. They can help control costs. They control, they give you updates on where your drivers are fueling up at, what kind of fuel they're purchasing. When we tie it into a fleet management program where we're getting the data brought into the vehicle and we can watch the mileage, we can start to see trends in the miles per gallon if things are starting to go sideways or the vehicle's not performing quite the way it should. We'll pick up on that stuff there. But yeah, there's a lot of great advantages, and they also have purchasing power too. So as they get into the gas cards, they can negotiate prefixed prices on fuel and start to control their costs much better than just running around with the Visa card,
So, yeah, I was going to say, so it's not like our Visa card in our pocket. There are other perks that come with this when you set it up properly, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, also in your book, you're mentioning that there's 3 focuses that fleet operators, managers need to think about all the time: safety, sustainability, and savings. But you say it's usually an afterthought, isn't it?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is safety first, right? One bad accident could really put a business in a world of trouble. So it's very important. I mean, there's a lot of risk involved with operating a fleet, and a lot of times it's an afterthought. They think just doing an oil change and taking care of some minor things is taking care of the fleet, but it's really not. There's a lot of risk mitigation that goes into it. Back when when I first opened our service department here over 25 years ago, one of the local enterprise rental cars had opened a branch here in Hamburg, and we started servicing them. But part of that agreement was that they wanted to see that we had certain pieces of insurance in place and that we would provide all that every year once we did our annual renewals for insurance so that they knew that they were covered. Heaven forbid something happened with one of their vehicles. And, you look at a company like Enterprise, they can certainly take care of their own vehicles, right? They can set up a garage and start taking care of their own vehicles, but it doesn't fit into their risk management model, which when you bring it back down to looking at the fleet at that level, makes a lot of sense to, spread that risk around.
So when people start building out, getting more cars, getting more trucks, somewhere there's got to be that aha moment, like, I have more than I can handle. What am I doing? Is that kind of thing you're kind of getting around? Is that people get into it not knowing they got into it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just comes along with the job, right? Like they get into it and they're passionate about what they do. And it's one of the things that it's a necessary evil inside the business, just kind of like for our business. I mean, and we're all tradespeople at the end of the day. Like we need to have a building and a repair shop that can work on vehicles, just like they need vehicles that can go to houses and take care of, people's houses or businesses that they go to. So it's just part of what goes along with it.
One of the best parts of the book, it's a very short part of the book, but I love that in most chapters you have this stop, don't do it type of area. It surprised me. It caught me off guard. You do all these wonderful tips and insights, and at the end you're like, stop. Can you explain why you had to put that in the book that way?
Yeah, well, it just makes it, they're really quick, easy, actionable items that people can just stop doing right now. So, and that's why we got into it and put those in the book, because there's great tips that you can take action on, and then there's stuff that you should take action on and stop doing. So that's why
Were there any of those that didn't make it to the cutting, to the final edit? Were there some more that you're like, I got to put it on? And your editor goes, nah, we're not going that far, Bill.
No, I think we got them all in there. I mean, I try to keep everything streamlined. I'm a pretty matter of fact guy, as you can tell, and straight and to the point. So we kind of got everything in there that we wanted to.
We're coming out of the pandemic, and I know you and I have talked about this before. Through the pandemic, the slowdown, and then these trucks were sitting, these cars were sitting. So, what are some of the common mistakes fleet managers and operators are doing right now, coming out of the pandemic, that they probably should pay more attention to?
Well, right now, the biggest thing is still trying to get inventory or replacement vehicles for these fleets. The chip shortage, they're finally getting caught up on things, and they're starting to come into the market, but there's not that huge surplus that there was there before the pandemic. And reinforcement of our general thesis on taking care of vehicles and maximizing their useful life. When we take a vehicle into the fleet, we want to make sure that we plan out when we're going to sunset that vehicle and try to take care of it and maximize its useful life that we want it in the fleet for. So when things like the pandemic or vehicle shortages pop up, you can work your way around it. If you get caught flat-footed, like a lot of fleets did during this, where they were proactive in taking care of their vehicles to begin with, it wasn't really that big of a deal. When their vehicles need a little bit more maintenance to make it another year or two to get replacement. So
Throughout the book, you drop little stories of different people that you've worked with, but can you highlight one maybe that you helped a small business, so you really got in there and made a big change for them?
yeah, there's been a number of them that we've gotten in there. I mean, a lot of it is taking care of people, right? So getting in there and helping out that office manager that is super stressed, that's got enough to do on a daily basis, and we can go in there and provide that relief. We deal with 911 situations with vehicles all the time. So like when they get that call from their driver and they're stranded on the side of the road, it's a really big deal for that. There's a lot of emotions involved. There's obviously safety with drivers being stuck on the side of the road. So what we can do is we go in there and we can set up where we're the direct call for that emergency, and we handle those situations here on a daily basis. So it's not like them where they get maybe one or two a year. Like we do this on a regular basis. So we have all our tow providers lined up. It's one call, and we can get people off the road as quick as possible and make sure that they're safe.
Now, chapter 3 was one of the hardest chapters for me to personally read. But you get into KPIs, TCO, you get into CPO. You're throwing out terms that maybe not all of us realize what they are, like total cost of ownership. Can you break some of these terms down so we basic people can understand this, please?
Sure. Yeah. So total cost of ownership, and a lot of fleets don't look at this stuff either. I mean, they're busy running their day to day, and they're not looking at this. And it's a very important metric because it can save thousands of dollars on the flip side if they pay attention to it. But total cost of ownership, it takes into account all the fixed and variable costs that are associated with putting a vehicle on the road. When you initially buy that vehicle, there's a lot that goes into it. You got, sales tax, you got registration fees, you got all of what it takes to upfit a vehicle. So whether it's ladder racks, the shelving for inside the trucks, the units like that, the wrap that goes on the vehicle, these are all, the significant investment in just upfitting these vehicles right from the get-go. So we look at that, and then the variable costs are obviously the fuel, the maintenance, the repairs, and all that stuff that goes into it that way. But we combine it all together. And then once we know that total cost, we can start looking at what the driving trends are with the fleet, start looking at how many miles they're putting on these vehicles. And then we back into that and find out what their cost per mile is. And it gives you some really good metrics on what you can measure. And, in business, what gets measured gets managed. So that's why it's best to look at that.
Well, and I know for you, that is one of your shining points. You really do get into that. That seemed like one of your superpowers, to really understand it and to get into it. Was that a fun chapter for you to get into, because you do have that real sharp focus on that?
Yeah. I love looking at business metrics, not just in my business, but other ones that I can help out. And I really enjoy nerding out on some KPIs.
There, you heard it right there. He nerds out on KPIs. I've never had anyone say that. Okay.
Yeah.
You also have a program, and hopefully we're not giving away too much inside tricks here, but you have the fractional fleet management program through Deboer's Auto. Can you kind of explain that and how that dovetails in this whole conversation?
Sure. So what we can do is we can go into a fleet, and Deboer's Auto is obviously, we're located in Hamburg, New Jersey, so we have a limited customer base that we can serve. But through I've been on this fleet train for a little bit, and through some YouTube videos and stuff, people have reached out to me from across the nation with other fleets. And usually, that's when the pain points come out. They go to YouTube, they go to Google, and they start trying to find answers to their problems. And I've collected some phone calls over the years from people that I can't really help other than to, try to give them some advice. Right. But, our fractional fleet management program that we put together is a complete kit where we can go into a fleet, even if they're not in New Jersey here, but we can install what we need to into the fleet, and we can manage it from afar from New Jersey. So we can arrange for the service stations, taking care of the vehicles. We set up parameters on what they want for purchase order amounts, what thresholds are for that we can authorize repairs up to, or when we need to make phone calls. We have trackers that go into the vehicles so that we can track the mileage and make sure that we're on top of when services come due, and just a whole host of suites and benefits that go into it.
So people can reach out to you. Part of the reason you did the book was to amplify that, but you're making it very clear here tonight. You are a resource for people, and you do want to do that, right?
Yeah, we're here to help people. So
Chapter 7 was one of the other surprises of the book for me. Risk mitigation. It's about cutting corners. It's about, that whole risk management thing, but you go really deeper into this. I was surprising it wasn't a longer chapter. Because it seemed like there's so much meat you really could have got in there. Did you intentionally hold back on that, or was that one? Why was this just not as big as I hoped for?
So I just like to keep everything straight and to the point, right? So there's plenty of other stuff to go on about, but I just like to keep it short and sweet and to the point. So people get exactly the information they need. I want the book to be a quick, easy read, so not something that they have to have a huge time investment in. And risk management, as much as we've talked about it already, but it's a very important piece of it. Some of these fleets that we run across, they'll have internal people taking care of their vehicles. And we talk about that a little bit in the book, and the risks that are associated with that. And, again, in that scenario where the vehicle runs into a bus full of kids, and you got to stand up in court and tell them that this guy that you have on the payroll is qualified to work on cars, and try to explain that to the insurance company, it gets very dicey, and there's a lot of risk involved. So we kind of unpack that in that chapter, but then, keep it short and sweet so people get just what they need.
So will there be a follow-up? Because again, some of these chapters, you take us just to the edge and you begin to get into it, and we want more, I think. And I think readers will find that true. Is there going to be a book 2, do you think, in this?
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be other books that come out of this. This one, I wanted to kind of do a quick Reader's Digest, get it together and get it out there. And then as we get into those topics that we're talking about now, unpack them a little bit further, and maybe each of their books of their own, so that they can take a deeper dive on those subjects if they need to.
And one thing we've not mentioned, though, this is a fast read, but you probably will read it multiple times. But this is like you can hop on a plane, read the book, and really get into it very quickly, can't you?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And we just recorded the audio version, which is available on Audible and on Amazon. You can grab it there too. I think it's 54 minutes. So you can grab it. It's an easy listen and still unpack the same great information.
Congratulations on that. One other question before we bring in one of our other guests in a moment, but these fleets, these trucks, these vehicles get used and used, long miles on them often. I do know they flip them, they resell them. Can you give any advice for the person looking at one of those fleet cars now being sold? Is there any tips for us out there?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're looking to purchase a used one, I mean, the best thing to do is have a pre-purchase inspection done. You can get a real assessment of where that vehicle's at. I mean, some fleets really take care of their vehicles, and other fleets just use and abuse them. And a pre-purchase inspection would help unpack that and kind of see where the vehicle's at, what condition it needs to be in to get it on the road again, and give you that information right there.
Well, Bill Deboer, we're going to have more questions for you coming on up as we go back into the gallery. And I am going to bring on Mark Lindsay is going to come join us in a moment. Another one of those people that you know in advance of our show tonight. Mark Lindsay, the business owner at Mark Lindsay and Son Plumbing and Heating. They do the unusual plumbing repairs, help and installation on bathroom remodels, set up water treatment services, and much, much more. So, Mark, welcome to the live celebration tonight. Well, you've been listening in. What do you think of all this so far, Mark?
Well, Bill, thanks, Rich. Bill hit everything that, we've been working on for years. Right, Bill? I think I've been with you 3 years now.
Yeah.
About.
Yep.
And we used to do everything ourselves. Used to bring 2-3 people to drop a truck off. We used to have to check all recalls, warranties all the time. Bill's been awesome to me. He picks up the trucks, leaves his car here. We don't have to have any downtime. The guys call up now to him directly if there's any issues with the fleet, and like really cuts down the time. And then when he talks about the money aspect of it, it really, that works out for us well now. Before we were just throwing money all the way around, and Bill lets us know about if we should do the repair, not do the repair. We always know what it's going to cost up front. And that saves us time because some of the trucks are older. And so his program is really cost effective to us. And
now I know we're talking about
company, and the downtime is minimal now, not like it used to be.
So, like, I know we're talking about Bill tonight, but behind Bill is an amazing team. What can you say about the team he's assembled that's making all this possible?
But obviously they're doing a great job, but I never met any of them yet. But Bill knows I'm terrible with names, but the girls in the office and stuff are great. I've been to Bill's shop a couple of times. It's all neat and clean. It's all very organized. I guess he has a great team because the trucks come back fine, and I don't ever have to bring them back again after he does the repair. So his team's probably awesome.
Any final comments on anything you want to say to Bill about his book, his team, whatever, for a final wrap-up thought?
Yeah, so, the main thing that Bill really presented with the book, which I got right here, is, about cost savings and knowing your numbers like every businessman should do. And after we got with Bill, we started getting with my accounting office, and now we know exactly what every truck costs, the miles and stuff like that. So before we didn't have any of that information. So Bill really hit it, with the beginning of the book about the financing of vehicles.
Bill, as you look back with your time with Mark, what's been the changes? What's been the successes? What has been this real experience been like for you?
Well, Mark is he's a
Unique
top
person.
he's a top-notch operator. And, he is a great fleet example of somebody that stays in front of their stuff. I wish more of our customers were like them, but they've been doing it for what, 40 plus years. So
Yes.
they've
Wow.
they've probably been around the block and had some good and bad and the ugly experiences. But they really, the biggest thing with Mark and his team is that he really cares about the drivers and making sure that they're safe. Like he bases his opinion on what he purchases so that the drivers are safe in their vehicles first and foremost. So, and that just goes right through everything that he does with maintaining the fleet. So he does a great job with it.
Is Mark one of your long-standing clients, customers that's also turned into a friend along the way? I would think.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
We had lunch once.
Yeah.
Mark, thanks for being with us tonight. And again, thanks for taking the time to celebrate the launch of this new exciting book. Thanks for being here.
I really, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
So when you think of Mark and clients like that for Bill, what's it like to have them pop on and pat your back, cheer you on, and reflect on, again, he was talking about dollars, cents, trucks, longevity. You've done a lot for these people.
Yeah. Yeah. And coming from a guy like Mark, I got a lot of respect for Mark. He's a very successful business owner in his own right. So it means a lot that he would be on here for me. And, again, I mean, this is what we can do. We can help people out. That's why we wrote the book, is to help people out that aren't quite in Mark Lindsay's shoes too, right? So he can hire us to come in and take care of his fleet for him. But the book was also written for the people that can't hire us to do what they need to do, right? So like there's quick actionable items in there. They can start to work on this stuff themselves, if they can't afford services like ours right now, and they can really get a handle on building their businesses by controlling their fleet costs. So that's a lot of what we wrote the book for, going back to where we got the profit first, right off out of the gate, trying to get people on board with that and understand the accounting and the cash flow of maintaining a fleet.
This is your time, by the way. For those of you who are streaming along, feel free to drop in the chat, ask some questions, join the conversation here tonight. If you know Bill, have worked with his company, have been a part of one of his fleet operations, I would love to hear some testimonials and comments come into the chat as well. If you have that, as we continue our question and answer, we got more surprises. Don't forget, we do have coming up, and I'll bring that back up on the screen here again. We are going to give away a copy of the book, but if you want a free download, there it is. Hit that, go to the page, register. And this free download is a limited offer, right? This is like a limited extra bonus gift here, Bill?
Yeah, so it's a free digital copy of the book. It's if you can't scan the URL, it's really easy website to go to. It's freefleetbook.com. And it's very quick. Just fill in your name and your email, and you'll get access to the book right away, the digital version. And then we also have a limited amount of printed hard copies that we can mail to people as well if they want to pay the postage. That's right on there as well. So, or they can hit up Amazon or Audible for the download of the audiobook.
So grab that phone, hit that barcode right now, grab that, or the one in the upper corner as well. Grab that as we keep having more conversation here. I'm kind of interested in, Bill, what's the biggest differences? What's considered a large fleet and a small fleet? Because you do small and large. Break up what's the differences between those, the size or whatever you compare them to.
So, I would consider a small fleet is anything from 0 to 10. Medium-sized fleet is anywhere from 10 to 50. And then, some of the other, once you go over 50, you get into the enterprise level type stuff where and we do a lot of that work too. It's kind of confusing with the fleet space because there's a lot of enterprise type fleets out there. So you think of your large, trying to think of like the, Sears, Best Buy, like these people that come out and service your equipment in your house that do installs of equipment for these stores, these big box retailers, they're all managed by an enterprise type fleet, and we do all their work as well. So typically what'll happen is somebody will they'll get referred in by the managing fleet. There's a number of different manage those enterprise type fleets, and they refer them into us as a provider, and then we know the process and handle everything in store here for them. So
is there a part of this journey that you've gone through from I mean, again, you've been in the business for a long time. It's been the family business. You've learned everything, but now you're an author. Did it ever dawn on you midway through, like, what the heck am I doing? Or was it a fun journey going through this?
yeah, it was a fun journey. It was easy, right? This is the stuff that, we eat and breathe every day of the week here at Deboer's Auto. So it wasn't really that difficult once I got the outline together to, just the book came together really quick. So, and, the purpose behind it was to get it out there and help other people with the fleet stuff. So that's why we did it. And it was just really easy to put together. So
Now, is your book for those that already are fleet managers, or is it also for those that are contemplating expanding their fleets? Is this a book that will help them jumpstart the best way right away, or is this for those that are already deep into it?
it's for everybody, right? It's for anybody and everybody. You talk about some of the phone calls that I get, from like, I don't want to say the names of the companies, but, around the nation that have reached out to me via YouTube videos and this sort of stuff. There are people that, they're working inside these companies and then they catch a transfer and now they're in charge of trying to manage this. Either they're an accounting professional or they're a professional manager of the business. And now they got to try to wrap their head around this untamed beast, that the fleet that is the unwanted stepchild inside the company, right? So that's a lot of, the book is written for them so that they can get a handle on it, pick up some tips and start to get a handle on what's going on in their business.
When it comes from fleet acquisition, I know you mentioned that in the book, but are there any unique special tips that people need to be more aware of as they expand their fleet, add in or have different variant trucks or cars? What would you say to give them help right there?
Yeah, so when you get into acquiring fleet vehicles, there's quite a bit that goes into it, and depending on where you are at in your fleet stage, eventually you'll want to grow into where you qualify for manufacturer fleet programs. They give out certain perks, certain buying power to people that have certain size fleets. So we help coach people through that process, get them set up with the manufacturers that they want to partner with so that they can, there's a lot that goes into that. There's the financing and the leasing side of it. And then also our background here, I grew up in the business. We started out retailing cars. We did so for many, many years. And, I've kind of cut my teeth in all of that. So to the auction since I was 8 years old, I know that side of the business very well. We added F&I into the business when I came into it after college. So I understand what's involved with finance and insurance products inside of, the fleet acquisitions. So try to help people inside the book with that. And, again, you talk about something that could probably go a lot deeper on is another book is probably a whole book just on vehicle acquisition. So
because it is such a big area. And again, I'll openly confess, I wasn't doing fleets, but I bought a lemon of a car. They promised, and I had it inspected. I had it probably checked out, and I still bought a lemon. Does that happen very often when you get into the fleet management, or is it the scales tipped a little bit differently that you don't fall into it quite as much?
No, I mean, most manufacturers nowadays, I mean, you can always run the risk of getting a lemon. There's bad stuff out there, but by and far, the cars today are a lot more reliable. That's why we're seeing that the vehicles go in the age, and the average age of the vehicle on the road today is over 12 years old now. So these vehicles are lasting a lot longer than they have in the past. So, and it's just a testament to where they're at building these vehicles today. So, you can buy something new and take care of it, and it'll last you a very long time. And it has to, because they're expensive to buy. So.
Have you done much with the hybrids and like the Teslas and things? Because I know like Uber has a massive fleet of cars people can now rent and lease. So they're into the fleet management, but I know they're also using Teslas and some of these hybrids. To me, it's kind of like this is early on still in this. Have you dabbled in that? Any advice for people doing that?
Yeah, yeah, we're dabbling in it as well, right? So one of our loaner vehicles is an electric vehicle. We just put in an electric charging station here at the shop. So we're playing with that as well. It depends on the person's use. You know, we live in a rural part of the country here in northern New Jersey where, you know, charging stations aren't everywhere, and the ones that are there are slow and take a little while to get you going again. So you better have some time to wait if you need charged up. But you know, there are certain fleets that it makes very, very good sense for, and then there's other fleets that it's not even close to being an option. So the best thing is to do is, you know, match the vehicle with the mission of the fleet and what they're trying to accomplish. So
This book covers, you have a total of 9 chapters with a preface and some after good stuff. What was your favorite part of doing this book, your first book?
Finishing it, really. Getting it done.
That's what every author says. It was
Yeah.
getting to the finish line. Really?
Yeah, the beginning and the end was kind of like the highlights. It was very easy to start, and it wasn't too hard to finish either, but the stuff in the middle took a little bit of work. So you know, if I had to say what was my favorite part, it was the beginning and the end. So
Now, I know you have worked with 90-minute books on this project. I'm also working with 90-minute books, and I work with them in some other projects. What would you say about them as a client, as a partner in getting your project done? Because I'm sure this book has been in your heart for a while, but they actually got it out of you. How did that go?
Yeah, no, it went very, very well. They were very easy to work with. If anything, they were waiting on me more than I was waiting on them. So they did a really great job of managing the whole process. They did all the cover design, getting everything processed, uploaded to Amazon, and they were a real joy to work with. Very professional.
Bill, we got one more surprise guest to come on in here, and we got prizes to give away, everybody. So stick around. And if you have questions, drop them in the chat. Let us know what you think. And of course, you want to order the book, download the book, get your hands on this thing, no matter what. But we will be giving away some autographed copies of this from the author himself. But before we do that, we're going to have Todd Thomas come in and join us. He's the owner of the Mosquito Hunters. I just love saying that, don't you? Come on, Bill. You got to admit, that's a cool name.
It's hard to hunt for them mosquitoes. You have a big sprayer.
Todd Thomas, welcome to the show tonight. Thanks for hanging on with us. You've been backstage all the way time listening through this. What have you been getting out of this here tonight? Have we been going through the celebration?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity, Rich. And Bill, you're an author. That's so awesome. I know an author. It's so cool. But no, the book itself is so much full of knowledge. I mean, when we started this company 4 years ago now, I never knew how much fleet management was going to be a part of it. And you know, the book itself, it answers a lot of questions, but it's going to make you ask a lot of questions about your business too. I thought I knew what a P&L was. I thought I could read it from front to back, and right at the first chapter, it's a 1-2 punch, and you don't know as much as you do, right? So, I mean, it really is a great resource, something that I'll have, you know, within arm's reach for, you know, forever. You know, it answers questions like, you know, income per vehicle and how to measure that, and when is it time to buy a new one, and how do you go about buying a new one? Do you lease? Do you buy? You know, the resource, the information that's in here, you know, and just this, you know, small book is, you know, it's amazing. I just, you know, so it's a lot of really good information. I'm surprised from a Penn State graduate. That's a lot of good stuff. But
We knew he was going to throw it in somehow, Bill. We just don't know how he was going to get it in.
But
Todd,
yeah,
what was your biggest takeaway from the book? What was that big? Because again, yes, you open it up and it is a 1-2 punch at the beginning. You realize small book, heavy content. But what was your biggest takeaway?
well, I mean, the whole thing, it's kind of makes you rethink of how you look at your vehicles. Is less of a a chore or a mode of transportation to something that can either make you money or can cost you money. And if you're following stuff like this and getting a resource like Bill, who can manage your fleet and give you the advice of what to do with your fleet and when to do it, it can turn into something that makes you money instead of just being that transportation source and end up even costing you money. So I think that was my biggest takeaway, just the different ways to look at your vehicle and look at the maintenance of it.
Is there any part of the book that you wish he had gone deeper? Like I was commenting on, some of those chapters are like, man, he's just getting me going. Was there anything that got you or you would like to see in the second book?
Definitely dive more into that P&L. Like I said, I've been looking at P&L since, for a long time, but it really is, there's stuff in there that you really have to unlock. And so that part of it is very huge. And then I think, you guys touched on it earlier that, going through the KPIs, getting those nailed down, what are the indicators that I need to look for, how to set those KPIs and then manage them. That would be huge.
Bill, what comments do you have for Todd as he beams in today? And again, he clearly loves your book.
Oh yeah. Well, we take care of Todd's fleet, Skeeter hunters,
Skeeter vans.
Yeah, he's got the tools of the trade in the back there.
Yeah,
knocks them all down with that. So, but yeah, we keep him out there. He does a great job of taking care of people's backyards. He does ours, and keeps the dogs tick free and mosquito free. So it's a great service. So we want to get to our yard as well as everybody else's.
Thanks, Bill.
Todd, any final comments for Bill?
Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Todd Thomas, thanks for being with us tonight. Again, owner of Mosquito Hunters. You got to go look him up. I mean, you go to his website. It's really cool. I never thought mosquitoes would be cool, Bill. Bill, we are coming down to time to spinning the wheel here. Now, we have 3 copies. Thank you for giving those copies as a way. We're going to have you autograph those copies, give them away. We have a list of people that have registered to follow along, stream with us tonight. So what we're going to do here this evening is we're going to bring the wheel up in a moment. We're going to spin, and whoever wins tonight, Bill will be sending a autograph copy to you directly as a way to say thank you for joining us and supporting. And hopefully you will love the book as much as everyone here tonight's been talking about. So, we're going to bring the wheel on here. There's the magic wheel, Bill. You ever seen the magic wheel before?
Yeah, we've seen that before.
We got a lot of people on here. So we are going to do this. And Bill, I'm going to let you take over as MC. You got to say whatever you want to say, spin the wheel, have us get the prize, celebrate this, and we'll just have a little fun here. So here's Bill Deboer.
All right. Well, is there a button for me to hit? Are you going to hit it?
I get to hit the button. I'm not giving up that much control, man.
So I just like to thank everybody for the time that they spent here tonight. I really appreciate them celebrating and helping this get out there into the ecosystem. I know when I was looking around for resources on these books that they were far and few between as far as fleet management goes. And I just really hope that this finds its way to those people that are struggling with the fleets, and that we can help bring them some relief with the book and get them going in the right direction and getting some peace and uninterrupted fleet life going for them.
Perfect. We're going to spin for book number 1. There we go. Everyone's waving their hands. Everyone's waiting to see if it's going to be their name here tonight. And it's going to be John Peterson. John will be getting. Now, do you happen to know John by any chance, or is this one of our random people out there in the universe following along tonight?
No, I know John Peterson. He's SBDC guy out at Penn State. So I know John.
Good. Well, there we go. So John's going to have that autograph copy. Here goes number 2. you look at it too long, your eyes do bug out, by the way. They really do. John Sheen. Listen, do you know
Sean
John?
Breslin. Yeah, I know Sean Breslin. Yes, I do.
We're doing good then. We're
Yeah.
doing good. All right. Any final words here? Or we're still going to give you final words. Any magical words as you spin the wheel for the third time tonight?
Not really. Just
Any technical babble you can throw at us?
nah, it'll put people asleep at this time of day.
Here we go. Number 3, autograph copy. Profitable fleet management for small and businesses. Dr. Thomas Gillick. And do you know the good doctor?
I
do
do
you know?
not. No, I don't.
Well, there we go. Well, so we have 3 wonderful winners, and they will receive, that will go out in the mail. And since I don't know what you're going to do, are you going to throw any of these surprises, any other goodies with these books as they're going out the door?
Yeah, we have some Deboer's Auto swag we can hook them up with as it goes out.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Bill, we are coming down to the final moments of your book launch. Again, we have worked on this for a while with you. It's been fun to work with you. We also have another show that Bill and I recorded earlier called Spotlight. And that's not about the book as much. It is about Bill and his genius. Be sure to check that out. Bill will be sharing that very soon, I know, as part of the ongoing campaign of the book launch and other endeavors for his business. But Bill, here it is. We're coming on the finish line, man. What all this work, all this planning, what you're here.
Yeah. It's been a great journey so far. I'm looking forward to getting more comments, getting this out into people's hands and getting the feedback and really maybe uncovering some more pain points that I can help alleviate with the fleets. So, I think it's a good, quick, easy read, get people on the right track on maintaining their fleets, getting the problem areas ironed out. And then, maybe they can share some of the pain points that they're still dealing with after the book, and we can help them with that too. So
what do you think might be, give us a teaser, let everyone hold on tightly for a moment. What might be one of those new elements that you want to make sure you go dive deeper in yourself?
I think the vehicle acquisition, I mean, there's just so many moving pieces in the acquisition, from paying for it, upfitting it, vehicle selection, financing it. There's a whole lot to that. And, I've got a lot of experience on that side of the business as well. So we'll probably spend some time and resources and maybe put together a book on that as well.
Don't forget, everybody, grab your phone. Make sure you get a hold of this via digitally right now. Scan that, sign in, register for it. Also, when do you think the audiobook is going to, is the audiobook out now, or are they almost ready to release it?
It should be almost ready to be released. It's Audible, and I had to correct the cover art on it. Otherwise, it's ready to go. So it should be within the next few days. It'll be released.
And otherwise, they can get hardcover or soft cover copies of the book through Amazon, through your website, and any place else we should direct them to?
No, those are the best spots. I mean, fun fact about the audiobook, Trish Bassani did the narration for us, and her and I went to high school together. We were grade school friends from a long time ago. So she ended up being a voice actor coach, pitched in and helped me produce the audible version of this.
So you're still in the family business. We started talking about being in the family business. You're still keeping it firmly connected to the people you know and love. That's great, Bill. I love hearing that.
Yep. Well, she's a great resource and a great talent. So,
Bill Deboer, congratulations on the launching of your book and for everything that's going on with us. Again, make sure you do get a hold of the copy of the Profitable Fleet Management for Small and Medium Businesses. Bill Deboer is the author. Congratulations. We look for more exciting things coming from Deboer and Deboer Auto. Thank you, Bill, for being here tonight.
Thank you, Rich.
That's going to do it for our live show tonight of the book launch. Rock and Stage Media is happy to present these. We do have another one coming up in a couple of months as well. Watch for more details on those. If you have a book, if you're an author, if you're looking to get yourself on stage to be seen and heard, I would love to feature you on one of these book launch parties myself. Contact me, rich@richbontrager.net. That's rich@richbontrager.net, or from rockthestagemedia.com. That's going to do it for tonight. Thank you for being with us, and congratulations again to Bill Deboer for the amazing book launch and the new book release. Best of luck to him and all the endeavors coming up. Thanks for being with us tonight, and we'll see you on the next book launch.